Hello, my name's Franz Sands and welcome to myboxingcoach.com. Under rotation, one of the most common faults I see in boxers. Now that's fairly obvious if you're talking about people who are only just starting out learning the sport. But I also see it creep back into the styles of some quite high level guys because boxing, like anything else, bad habits can creep back in. So what is rotation and why is it important? So each shot we throw, when we throw it right, needs rotation of the hips. Important for two reasons. Number one is maximising power. And number two is ensuring that we get the right reach. And rotation is driven from the feet. I'm going to demonstrate with both the two straight shots. We're not going to get into all kinds of hooks and uppercuts and whatnot. Two straight shots, simple ones. Okay, so the jab in our stance. From that position, the jab is, in order to get the jab working well, you need to rotate these hips. So it goes there, straight out and straight back. Now, the key thing is that you want to be looking at, as I rotate my hips, I get maximum extension of the shot. You can see this shoulder. If you can still see the shoulder when I've thrown my jab and my jab's fully out, I'm losing length on the shot. Look at the difference. No rotation of the hips. No push off the front leg to rotate them hips. No rotation. No rotation. Rotation. So, in front of you, my shoulder, my rear shoulder disappears, and you can draw a line from the knuckle of that hand all the way back to the furthest point. That means that we are gaining an extra 2 or 3 inches at least. Now, inches matter, as my wife continually tells me, goes above my head. Inches matter. Leaving that type of reach on the table simply because you're not rotating your hips and maximising the length of the shot. It's all about marginal gains. If you want to get better at anything, look for lots of different areas to make lots of small improvements. This is a classic. Gaining that extra couple of inches with that jab can make a massive difference. It's the same with the backhand. There's a lot more mechanics involved with the backhand. So when you throw the straight backhands, it's the straight rear hand or right hand in my case, because I'm an orthodox. First action is a drive off the front leg that rotates these hips. Front leg bends to accommodate the hip rotation. Shot goes straight out and comes straight back. Straight out and straight back. Now, lack of explosive thrust off the rear leg leads to under rotation, and again we lose massive amounts of reach. Worse than that, we lose big power. If you're going to hit someone with this shot, the worst thing that can happen is that it can bounce off them and you don't feel it at all. So you have to maximise power. So that drive off that back leg, and the interesting thing is, it's like you go into a doom loop. I see this so often with boxers. They under rotate. So every time they throw their backhand, they miss because they're leaving, you know, in this case, possibly 6 or 8 inches. Look at the difference, okay? No rotation, no rotation, no rotation, rotation. So not only am I throwing a shot that's got stopping power, I'm lengthening it by this much. And the boxer, back to that point, boxer loses confidence, so they stop. They you know, every time they throw it, they either get hit, they get countered, or it misses, so they stop throwing it. So they become a boxer who's so passive that all they do is jab. You're never going to get anywhere if all you do is jab. Okay, so that lack of thrust. So I just want to show you something to demonstrate this, okay? I'm not going to do any Bruce Lee moves. I'd probably knock my own teeth out if I tried that. A simple brush handle. It's a good way of just getting some demonstration as to whether you indeed rotate enough before I move on, almost forgot. A big problem with that rotation of the back, the hips. Lots of people, this is a fault you need to look out for, lock their front leg when throwing a shot. So you get that, see that leg's locked? If you lock your leg, your front leg, there's no way you can get hip rotation. That front leg has to bend in order to accommodate the hip rotation, okay? That leg has to bend. If it locks, the hips will just stay there. I nearly forgot that. It's a really important one because, especially with novice boxers, it happens a lot. That front leg locks and it just stops that rotation. Right, back to my point. Now, just use the brush handle and just put it across the back of your neck. You can get it across maybe the top of your shoulder blades in your boxing stance. So that's my starting position. So if I'm throwing a jab with perfect rotation, that's where we end up. So you can see the brush handle comes directly pointing towards you. If I use no rotation, obviously it stays where it is. So it's the difference between there and there. There, good rotation, no rotation. Good rotation, and it just emphasises it even more so with this back hand. So here's good rotation. Okay, so our body is rotating around central axis from that position. So I can see this end of the handle come into my line of sight. If I under rotate, so if I block that front leg, if I lock the front leg, the most I'm going to get from starting position to there. Starting position to there. You see how under rotating my hips are? Now let's go with full rotation. See the difference? It's a massive amount of difference. The reason I'm asking you to use this is just because it emphasises, you do a 3-minute round of just that and you'll get the feel, you'll get the kind of thing you need where you're seeing that rotation, you're seeing the pole come round in position, and then put it down and do a round of shadow boxing, and before you know it, you're going from this type of shadow boxing to this type, you know, where you're getting everything, you're maximising the reach, you are maximising the power, okay? I'm going to stop there. It's quite technical, that one, but I hope it's on a really simple matter, but something that is so common, so I felt it important just to put something out there. Sign up to the Beginner Boxer Toolkit, my book, download it, lots of stuff in there, even if you're somewhere along the journey, but if you're using boxing to underpin your fitness regime, it's a really great start for you, really big help in getting you going, and also subscribe. Otherwise, my name's Fran Sands. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch. Thank you.